Before we get into this conversation, hey y'all, I want to introduce you to what's in my cup. This is mahogany bark infusion. It's bitter, it's ancient, and it found us in Ghana, West Africa. On recent trips there with Wawa Aba Wellness Corporation, during our routine visits to sacred spaces and sacred places, this medicine was placed in our hands. And I want you to understand something about this tree. This is the bark of the tree. Mahogany is found throughout the world, and everywhere it goes, people have known what it can do. In West Africa, traditional medicine practitioners have used this bitter bark for generations. They've used it to reduce fever, to remove toxins from the body, to ease inflammation and joint pain. And that last one, I can testify to that personally. It's helped me with my knee pain, tried and true. In Central and South America, indigenous healers, they prepare mahogany bark as a decoction for arthritis, rheumatism, and pain in the joints. In the Caribbean, where I was born, shouts out to Jamaica, it's been used to cleanse the blood, to regulate blood sugar, and to support overall vitality. In Ayurveda, the ancient healing traditions of South Asia, mahogany is honored for immunity, digestion, and fighting fever. One tree, every continent, the same medicine. And in African diasporic tradition, mahogany is known as a symbol of ancestral endurance, the strength to survive hardship while maintaining dignity and integrity. It connects the living to the wisdom of those who came before us. So, on Father's Day, honoring a paramount chief, drinking this bark, the ancestors are not subtle here. Instead of reaching for a soda or another sugary drink, I reach for this during certain times of the month, during certain times of the year. It fortifies me. And today, it fortifies this conversation. This is Authen Tea Cally Nyoka. Welcome. Today, we drink mahogany bark, we honor fathers, we honor lineage, and we tell the truth. Enjoy our conversation with Asamoah Sarpong. I'm excited. I hope you are too. Soul Stars, welcome to Authen Tea Cally Nyoka, the podcast where we pour into the truth of who we are and we explore what it truly means to show up authentically in our professions, in our purpose, and in our legacy. And it's so interesting that we have to do this again, but I want to welcome Asamoah Sarpong to Authen Tea Cally Nyoka. You heard that? You heard that? I'm your host, Nyoka Nicole Samuels. I'm a registered nurse educator, certified integrative nurse coach, and founder of Excel Holistics. And I'm also a co-author of The Courageous Pursuit of Authenticity. And the title is not just a book. For me, I feel like it's a movement. It's a movement, and it is my pleasure to invite guests like Asamoah to the program, to the audience, to our soul stars, so that we could talk about what it means to authentically walk in our purpose, in who we are, and know that it's a journey and not a destination. So welcome, Asamoah.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for
You're
having me.
welcome. So I want to introduce you as a man who has spent his career
Mhm.
behind the scenes of
Yeah.
some of the most high stakes
stages in broadcast television. Let me tell you,
Yes.
starstruck. Now, you see those Emmys behind him? Like, it's for real.
I'm doing I'm doing okay.
So those stages include the Winter Olympics.
Yes.
But what you will discover in this conversation is that the most powerful stage Asamoah has ever stood on has nothing to do with the camera or a soundboard.
Yeah.
I met as someone during a cultural, spiritual gathering we call
Yes.
Akom Kese. I
Yeah.
had seen him before
Yeah.
in passing, just being cordial. But during that time, I think I really had an opportunity to see him and to hear
Mm.
him. And I like him. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you for
Um,
having me.
you're welcome. As someone has been installed as a member of a Ghanaian royal family
Yeah.
as a child.
Yeah.
And sadly, recently, his father has
Mm.
transitioned or is
Yes.
going through the transition
Yes.
into the land of the Ensemando, or what we like to say,
The
he
day
has
sisters.
transitioned into spirit. And so this is like honoring him. We did this before
Yes.
his transition, and now Spirit was like, nope, we
Right.
not that one, this one.
Right. Right.
So here
Right.
we are. What did I say about you, as someone that you would like our Soul Star crew to know?
In addition to my own personal uh achievements, I am indeed the son of the Oman Henry, Paramount Chief of Agogo, from the Ashanti region. As once again, as you said, my father has passed, but energy never dies, it just takes a new form.
That's right.
So yes, as a child, to honor my spirit within me, he installed me as an official royal family member. So I am technically I guess, the American representative of Agogo. So I always be proud of where I'm from, even though I was born here in New York.
New
Um,
York in the house, New York, New York in the house. Hmm.
but I've always will be an extension of Agogo and my father's will and his legacy and just the Ashanti region and the Ashanti Empire or Kingdom as well. And try to contribute to the culture and as much as I can, and also live up to my own name and as well as maintain my own identity within that.
Yeah, thank
Mm.
you so much for that
Yeah.
wonderful addition.
Yeah.
So I want to get into, what do you do for a living?
So I'm a technical supervisor. Majority of my career was with NBC. Uh, First to NBC, MSNBC rankings, and then I transferred over to NBC Sports. Technically, I'm freelance, so I still work for myself. I work for all the networks, but I've always maintained a relationship with NBC, and have been so for the past 13 or 14 years or so.
Oh, wow, that's
Um,
longevity right there.
yeah, 10 of those years was with the Rachel Maddow show and Brian Williams show, and I've also done shows as like Nightly News with Lester Holt and Weekend Nightly News as well.
Oh, we like Lester.
Oh yeah, yeah, Lester. I've also done Democratic conventions, Republican conventions, remote shows, the Global Poverty Fest in Central Park. Um, I, Pretty much every major event within the past 10 years, I've practically had a hand in it.
Oh, that's
Um,
cool.
but
That's really
um,
cool.
but yeah, so I would say that oh yeah, and the winter you mentioned the Winter Olympics and the 2024 Summer Olympics as well. So I've been around the block a few times.
So describe what you do, like in more detail. Describe it for us.
So basically, it's my duty to make sure that I'm the mediator between uh television producers and technical crew. So it's my job to kind of unify the two halves in order to make a show work and show run. It's also my job to kind of like maintain the facility. If we want to do something on the remote shoot, I will book the crew for that. It's also my duty to kind of book transmission lines, satellite lines, and those of that kind of technologies, working around technology as well.
Oh, okay, I
Yeah,
see. So
yeah.
you are like the Ochami for television.
Chief Ocean.
Chief Ochami for television. Now
Yes.
tell the crew what an Ochami is, please.
So basically, the little translation is linguist, but it's really more so about um, translating situations and overseeing and making sure that everybody understands each other in a very well put together manner.
That's right.
And making sure things run smoothly and closing the loopholes that people may or may not think of.
That's right.
Um, so one time, for an example, one of the producers kind of like went over my head and booked the crew for a shoot. And he basically forgot to book makeup. And everything is HD, so we have to book makeup. So here I am, calling makeup artists in the middle of the night, asking them for their social security number because because the interview is with Joe Biden, and you cannot
You
do an
have to
interview without
clear them.
you have to get the clearance. So I was able to find one in some rinky-dink town and that those kind of things. So it's thinking of things that nobody thinks of. We talk about, like an instance, if we talk about if one of the segments is talking about a car crash, I would say like you might want to check what kind of brakes, what are the adverts for that segment? Should we move the car adverts to another block, to another segment? Because you don't want that. You don't want to talk bad about cars or bad about car accidents, and then a car advertisement like comes right after you talk bad about cars. Little
Oh,
nuances like that.
so when you say adverts, you mean advertisements.
Yeah, like commercials. Right.
Okay, cool.
I
So
don't
you
I
make
don't book the commercials, but I make sure like, hey, we're talking about car accidents. It's just any little thing that I can help with in addition to my own duties. If a banner is spelled wrong, I'll point it out. Um, just little things, and it's doing the big things and the little things all in one.
all wrapped up in one. That's
Yeah.
really cool. How does that align with your cultural expression?
It's being artistic because a lot of it is also like color correction.
Mm.
Um, understanding how colors work, what doesn't work. And just looking things from a perspective of how does it look artistically, you know. Yeah, and just paying attention to the small details. A lot of things that we do is making sure that we get those small little details right.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's cool. Thank you for sharing that and going into
Mm.
detail because I think it's important for us to realize that alignment can come in so many different ways. We
Right,
have these gifts, and
right,
sometimes we can allow them to shine in so many different settings. And
right,
we have to be appreciative of that. We have to be grateful of that,
right,
right? And we're
right,
not just one thing, we're not just one dimension. And I
right,
think authenticity, a lot of people feel like it's static, you know?
right,
Well, you're like this all the time, and
mm,
that's it. But it's very multidimensional. So I
right.
think you are exemplary of
Thank you.
that multidimension of authenticity. And you not only do that, but you also do music. Can we talk
Yes.
about the music? Be blessed. Can we
Yes.
talk about the
Yes.
music?
Yes. Before I ventured into broadcast, music was my passion. Unfortunately, my career has got caught up in the whole 50 Cent Ja Rule beef, which is
What?
there's another, there's another story. So that's a whole nother.
Oh, that's another episode.
Um, so at one point I thought I was supposed to. Anyways, I got caught up in some drama, not personally, but certain industry relationships had some falling outs. But I did make some strides myself, personally, in the independent route. I have one of my songs has been featured in a movie.
Oh, that's cool.
Miss Virginia was on Amazon and Netflix and BET. So, I've also had some major radio airplay at one point, and I kind of aged out the game.
Age out. Can we
Aged
can we
out.
really age out?
You kind of age out the rap game. You get a little mature, and
Age out. Do you see Jay? I wouldn't be surprised if he dropped another album.
that is true. Yeah.
Hell,
Um.
let's talk about music in general. Do you see Buju Banton? Like his
Yeah.
album just
Yeah.
came out.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
don't think you should
I
give
would
up
say
on
aged
that just
out,
yet.
but I would say my focus went more towards broadcast.
Okay.
You know, uh, I mean, I've hit some pretty solid numbers. I mean, couple 100,000 streams there, couple 100,000 streams
You're
there,
so modest. Can we talk about how modest you are because you are a Yao? Can we talk can we talk
Yeah,
about how modest you are because your
yeah,
day name is
yeah,
Yao? Oh,
yes,
just a
yes,
couple
yeah.
100,000.
A
Have you seen
couple
my
of a
YouTube channel?
thousand.
I'm struggling to get to 100 subscribers. I've only had a couple 100,000
I
streams.
mean, here
Oh,
and there,
congratulations.
thank you.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've probably done about 10 million streams and counting,
That's
career-wise.
cool. That's
Um,
awesome. Congrats to
um,
you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I mean, but again, I decided to focus more on television. It was more steady, less of a headache. It still has its drama, of course, but not as much as the music business. So, and whatever. I don't know where my next music venture will be or lead to, but I've always had a passion for it. I do have a home studio myself, and I let my daughters record when they want to, and you
Oh,
know.
how sweet. Do they have singing voices? What they doing?
They're trying to wrap themselves, they're
Oh,
trying to figure it out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, um, but even that, with that, being back to being authentic, during my years at NBC, they knew who I was on the side, and they promoted my music, and some people might have played a song or two on a certain show, to look out and help me get some royalties. But again, I was able to be myself, and they was actually supportive of the music during that time period, when I was taking things seriously as well. So I was able to be myself. So either way, I'm a entertainment aficionado, so to speak.
entertainment aficionado. Okay.
Yes, yes.
So your work requires you to know your people
Hmm.
more than your
Right.
equipment. Would I say that is that accurate?
I would say it's even,
It's
about
even.
say 50-50.
Okay.
It's more so understanding, knowing your people, know what kind of day you're going to have,
Yeah, yeah.
or what you need to be aware of. Right.
You told me you knew who would oversleep at 2:30 a.m.
Right.
If for a 2:30 a.m. call before they even set the alarm, you
Right.
knew who your eyes needed to be on, who you had to have the pulse, you had to have the pulse check on, right?
Yeah.
Where did that gift come from? And do you see it as a professional skill or something deeper?
Um, I would say it's a little something deeper, right? I think it's more of, like, I have a gift of, um I see time in branches, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Um so I won't say psychic, but I'm pretty good at guessing what will happen.
Can we say you have developed a very strong relationship with your intuition?
Yes, we can say that.
And
Yes.
I mean, as a man,
Right. Right.
we usually say, oh, women are the intuitive ones and da da da. But I love to see
Mm,
a man walk and hold his intuition in a way
mm,
that nurtures him and supports not only him, but also his family and his
right.
community.
Yeah.
So yeah, the people might want to say psychic, but let's say that you
Right.
have developed your intuition,
Yeah.
right?
I
To a
wouldn't say
point
something.
where,
I would say develop my intuition. Right. Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Because you need that, right? What
Right.
when we talked before, you talked about the Winter Olympics, and you
Mm-hmm.
said that you kept a whole binder. You had to operate from a binder because
Right.
prior someone else had the binder, and then you had to like study the binder and
Mm-hmm.
then execute all the different things. You said you spent a week studying what someone else had been building for 4 years,
Right.
and then you had to execute it. How do you stay anchored to yourself when the stakes are that high and everything is someone else's framework?
I would say to, you know, deep breathing helps a lot. Settling your
Mm,
spirit, settling your mind, centering yourself, understanding that you are going to get through it one way or another, and just chip away at it. Don't always think about look at the large picture. Start at the smallest piece and just keep adding up smaller pieces bit by bit. Especially with something like the Olympics, where people only work this event every 2 to 4 years. And I think that's what's a little tricky about it because you may or may not see these people ever again. So now you're meeting a whole new crew for the first time, and then trying to figure out where they belong, where they sit, trying to get their credentials, and they are coming in from learning everything from scratch. And and me as well, even though I've been in the building before, it's a whole new system because while I'm working on other shows, somebody else is building that.
yeah,
So then I have to kind of deconstruct and um kind of pull the pieces together, pull the pieces apart and see what exactly did I have and then put them back. Um, for instance, I was the one of the few technical supervisors working on two shows, I mean, two events from two different venues.
yeah.
And they were like 20 to 30 cameras each. Um,
Wow.
so I had to basically try to find a system of trying to make it all fit and come up with a way a system that will work for me and
Yeah.
how my brain operates. But again, it's more so of just trying not to be intimidated and taking it step by step and take the small steps, and those will lead to the bigger steps, and then making sure everything makes sense for you.
Because it's very challenging. You see maybe gaps, right,
Mm,
in what someone else has created, and so you want to make sure that those gaps are filled because that's your reputation. That's your reputation on the line, right?
mm.
So I really I can see that. So can you please tell us briefly what those Emmys behind you have been given to you for, please? You have
Yes,
two Emmys over there behind
yes,
you.
yes. So the first one, uh, to my, I guess the farthest to the, I guess my right. That one originally was for um the town hall in Flint, Michigan during the water crisis. And it's one of my proudest work because that's actually like a social issue that affected people of color mostly.
Yeah,
Um, and just having that being able to get the message out of something that tragic, unfortunately, um, it's a kind of like a double-edged sword, not a double-edged sword, but it's kind of a multi-layered thing because on one end, I am proud of the fact that we're able to get the message out there, but it's unfortunate that indeed happened to like our people.
yeah,
Um, But again, being able to broadcast it and actually give the people a voice and help them get their voice out there. It's one of my proudest moments. And then the second one is from the Summer Olympics for a technical supervisor as well.
Thank you. Thank you for
Thank you.
telling us what those Emmys were for, and congratulations. I had no idea that you were Emmy Award winning when I met you. It's only through social media I saw something. I saw you were doing an interview and you were talking about the Emmys and I was
Yes.
like, "Get out of here. I know an
Yeah.
Emmy Award winning person.
Yes.
Get
Yeah.
out."
Again,
Congratulations.
thank you.
Congratulations to you
Yeah.
for your hard work, your dedication and the meaningfulness behind those Emmys.
Mm,
So important for our community,
mm.
for our families and for our children, for our legacy.
Right.
Having that recorded as a documented event so that we can go back and watch it, when we
Yeah.
get older, when our children start doing research. I remember
Right.
back in the day when we used to have to go to the library, right?
Yeah, the
And look through
library.
microfiche and look through videos and stuff like that for
Yeah.
things. And you have contributed to that
Yeah.
historical body of work. So thank
Yeah.
you so much for that.
Yeah. Thank you.
So in closing, I like to ask this question. Uh, Asamoah, what has showing up authentically in your profession and in your lineage
Mm.
cost you? What has it cost
Plus
you?
me. Um, I would say sometimes that cost me opportunities, unfortunately. Some people don't like or being rubberizers, or revolutionary minded peoples at times. Because it is my duty to also speak up for my crew as well. And when something is, not correct, it's my job to, stand up for them as well.
Yeah.
Um, but it also gave me peace because I know that I've done the right thing and that I get to sleep at night and not have to uh worry about the fact that I didn't stand up for my ideologies and protecting other people.
Yeah, I love that. So, we talk about what it cost you, but what has it given you that nothing else could?
The pride of just being me and just having onus of um my own ideologies and my spirit and me being able to look myself in the mirror and be proud of who I am and what I
Ah, perfect.
am.
Perfect. Asamoah, thank you. Truly, thank you. What you have shared today is not just a career story
Mm,
or a cultural story. It's a story of legacy.
mm,
And it's a story that sits at the heart of everything that I wrote in The Courageous Pursuit of Authenticity. So if you are able to listen to the chapter, it's on YouTube. I can
okay.
share that. Um, Also, if you would like to get or recommend the book to anyone that you know, it's The Courageous
Mhm,
Pursuit of Authenticity. It is an anthology that 8 women contributed to as we talk about our exploration of who we are, what we've been through, and
mhm.
how we hold on to who we are as
Right,
we understand how important it is to do so, right?
right.
So, to everyone who pressed play today, I want you to sit with what Asamoah has shared with us because somewhere in his words, somewhere in there is a mirror for your own courageous pursuit. And the
Mm,
question is not whether you have to leave a legacy. The
mm.
question is whether you will be brave enough to live that legacy.
Right.
Asamoah Medasi Papa.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
All right, authentically Nyoka signing out until our next conversation. Soul Stars, keep it locked. Peace.